Hi, I'm Betty McLean, and welcome to Healthcare Hope, a podcast for nurses. With 2 decades of bedside experience and now as a certified burnout coach, I understand the challenges nurses face. I believe that all stress is manageable and burnout is not inevitable. Join me in building strength for yourself and hope for the future of our industry. Okay, welcome to Healthcare Hope, the podcast for nurses who are striving to find balance and prevent burnout and build a sustainable, fulfilling career. I am your host, Betty McLean, and today we are diving into a topic that pretty much every nurse deals with or will deal with, and that is time management. And I apologize up front. It's been very windy and it's very early in the morning for me right now, so my voice may sound a little bit stuffy. That happens to me when it gets dusty and windy. But the topic I have for you today, I think, is very important, and it's one that a lot of nurses struggle with. And when you struggle with time management, it's hard to take time to get better. So we're going to talk about it. As nurses, most of us work in fast-paced, unpredictable, and sometimes chaotic environments. And it can feel like when you're at work, there's not enough time to get everything done, whether it's patient care, charting. And in some respects, that's true. But I'm going to talk about that. The other thing is finding that balance of time between work and home can be very challenging. So we're going to talk about that as well. Learning to manage your time effectively will make a huge difference in how you experience your workday, how you manage your stress, and it will actually reduce your stress if you find a way to effectively manage your time. And all of that will help prevent burnout. First thing we're going to talk about is prioritization. It's so important. It's really the essential skill of time management, prioritization. And in nursing, it's common to feel like everything is urgent and needs to be done right now. But not all tasks are created equal. Learning how to prioritize the most critical tasks first is key to managing your time. And I know for some of us, we had excellent nursing instructors who taught us this, but some didn't have nurse instructors who were good at this. So you're going to have to figure this out for yourself. But here's a couple of things that you can consider. When prioritizing, you want to ask yourself questions like, what's most important for patient safety? What tasks are time sensitive versus what can wait a bit longer? In nursing, you know, it is all about patient safety and providing care. So those priorities should always come first. But it's important to distinguish between what's urgent versus what is just important. For example, charting may feel like it's urgent because it needs to be done, right? If it wasn't charted, it didn't happen, right? That mantra. But if you have a patient whose condition is rapidly changing, their care takes priority. So after assessing the situation, return to charting once things are stabilized, right? It's about constant recalibration of what's going on around you. And that can take time, but it starts with asking those questions. What's most important for patient safety right now? And what tasks are time sensitive? If this is something that you're constantly struggling with, my number one suggestion would be for you to seek out a mentor, someone who really excels at prioritizing on your unit or in your specialty, and have some discussions with that person. Have a conversation a couple of times a month, reviewing how you run your shift. Pick their brain and see how the way you implement things or the way you make decisions might compare to how they would have done it. And then consider implementing some of their suggestions and then review again after a few shifts. I'm going to offer you a great little 2-minute rule. It's a hack that can actually work wonders in busy environments. The 2-minute rule is this: if a task will take you less than 2 minutes to complete it, do it right away. I love this. Think about all the little things that pile up during a shift. A quick patient check. Just look in, make sure they're doing well. Grabbing a supply that you're going to need for something later. Updating your charge nurse or the CNA on a patient status change. If you can knock those little things out in under 2 minutes, handle it immediately rather than adding it to that growing mental list that you have of, I'll do that later, I'll do that later, I'll do that later. It frees up mental space and it prevents tasks from stacking up and becoming overwhelming. For nurses, this can be especially helpful with smaller tasks like those quick checks, restocking supplies, noting a quick update in a chart, something that's not going to take more than 2 minutes, checking in with a patient on something really minor. It helps you keep the workflow going without adding unnecessary clutter to your already busy day. The next thing I want to talk about is learning to delegate effectively. So, as nurses, I know a lot of us struggle with delegation. We often feel like we need to do everything ourselves, or we want to do everything ourselves. But let me tell you, trying to handle everything on your own is a fast track to burnout. Delegation is critical in time management, especially when working with a team. Whether you're delegating to a CNA, another nurse, a team member, it's important to recognize when a task can and should be handed off. Again, you might need a mentor to help you if this is somewhere where you really struggle. Effective delegation means understanding the strengths of your team and the people around you and trusting them to handle tasks. For example, if you're swamped with charting, but your patient needs assistance with hygiene care, you can ask the CNA to help you. If a coworker is caught up with patient care but needs a small task done, offer to trade tasks if it makes sense to both of you. Delegation helps ensure that patient care is delivered effectively. It lightens your load so that you can focus on tasks that require your specific expertise. So don't hesitate to ask for help. It's really the sign of a strong, capable nurse, not a weak nurse. You should also be using delegation at home to prevent burnout. Let's talk about that a little bit. Delegating at home might look like setting up a chore chart for your family, hiring a cleaning service, or using a grocery delivery service. You need to look at your life honestly and decide, what do you need to do versus what do you want to do? And what could you or maybe should you be giving up to someone else? Again, it's a sign of a strong, capable person who knows the things that they can delegate and where their personal strengths are. If you are someone who enjoys cleaning, it's therapeutic for you, and you're very good at it and you're fast at it, then you may want to hold on to your cleaning your house, your weekly cleaning schedule, whatever works well for you. But if you despise cleaning and you put it off until it's absolutely necessary and it's a constant chore that just grates on you, where would your time be better spent versus cleaning? That cleaning probably should be delegated out. That frees you up. This is what delegation does. It frees you up to expend your time and energy in a more efficient, effective place. Let's talk about technology. In today's healthcare setting, technology is a huge time saver if used correctly. Most hospitals and clinics have adopted electronic health record systems, which can speed up documentation once you understand the system well. It speeds up medication ordering and communication with other providers. If you find yourself struggling with time management, take a little bit of time to learn the shortcuts and the efficiency tools that your EHR and other technologies offer. Most systems have built-in features that can help you manage your tasks faster, like templates for charting or automated reminders for patient care. So, using technology to your advantage means becoming comfortable with the tools that you have so that you're saving time instead of the electronic technology slowing you down. At home, you utilize technology too. My favorite tech, which is so simple, it's really not technology, is just to set an alarm. Set an alarm on your phone to remind you to do some gratitude journaling when you get home. Set a timer to remind yourself to get on FaceTime with your mom. We all have little tasks that are important to us, but we don't make time and we forget and we put them on the back burner. Technology can make it easier for us to remember those things. One of the most effective ways to manage your time is to have a game plan before your shift even begins. So take a few minutes before work to think about all the tools that you have at your disposal, breathing techniques for stress, and all of your coworkers who are wonderful to delegate to, all those new things you learned in your charting tools that will speed up your charting. Review your plan for using those tools, using your breathing techniques to lower your stress, and review your plan for taking breaks and caring for yourself so that you can be the best for your patient care. Spend a few minutes, again, not long, just spend a few minutes visualizing having a great shift. And imagine yourself rising to excellence with every challenge that's handed to you. The important key when visualizing is to try to feel the feelings of pride and accomplishment, or whatever emotions you feel when you really rock a shift. It won't actually change the patients that you get assigned to, or what your coworkers say about your new haircut, or what a family member says to you when they're angry or upset. But when you practice the feelings of stress and anxiety by imagining a horrible shift, you bring that energy into work with you. And when you practice the energy of having a great shift, you're calmer and you bring that calmness to work. And a calm brain can prioritize, a calm brain can adapt and care much more effectively than a stressed brain. Time management as a nurse is challenging, no doubt about it. But prioritizing tasks, using tools like the 2-minute rule, creating routines and delegating effectively and planning ahead, you can start to reclaim your time and reduce unnecessary stress. Remember, time management is not about being perfect. It's about making small changes that add up to big results over time. By becoming more intentional with how you spend your time, you'll feel more in control of your shifts. You'll be more present with your patients and you'll feel less overwhelmed at the end of the day. Thank you for tuning in to Healthcare Hope. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss an episode. And if you found today's episode helpful, share it with a nursing friend and the coworker who could use a few extra time management tips. And as always, take care of yourself. You deserve it. Thank you for listening today. If you're ready for support and looking for a community of like-minded healthcare professionals, join me in my free private Facebook group called Healthcare Hope with Coach Betty. If you found this episode helpful or encouraging, please share it with your friends and fellow nurses. Subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Together, we can create strength for our lives and hope in healthcare.